Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to We Talk Fights. This week we've got UFC Macau main event Song Yadong against Deivison Figueredo. We've got 13 fights on the card. We did have a week off, so welcome back, everybody. And if you're liking my content, do me a favor, like and subscribe, hit those notifications so you know when I put a new video out. And the card kicks it off with, we will kick it off with Loma Lukebunmi, the Thai fighter, against Jacqueline Amarine. Loma is 7-3 in the UFC, against 4-2 is Amarine's UFC record. Loma is ranked 26th. And Jacqueline is 13, so Loma with the win will be trying to crack the top 15 by stealing her number 13. Loma hasn't fought in 8 months, as to Jacqueline's 7 months. What really stands out, the two things that really stand out to me here when I look down at my breakdown sheet with this fight is Loma's got a 61.5-inch reach, and Jacqueline has a 68-inch reach, which is a difference of 6.5 inches. The thing is, Loma is the striker, not Amarine. Amarine's the grappler. So if it was the other way around, I could see the stylistic matchup being a little different, but I think Loma will outstrike her. I think she'll actually piece her up on the feet. If Amarine does take her down, Loma does have good defensive wrestling, and she pops up pretty quick. And I think... and also, they, looking at similar opponents, they both fought Sam Hughes. Loma beat Sam Hughes, and Jacqueline lost to Sam Hughes. So, you know, MMA math, 2 and 2 doesn't always equal 4, but, you know, take it for what it's worth. Loma beat Sam Hughes, Jacqueline lost to her. So, with that said, you know, Loma's 7 UFC victories. She's got 6 decisions and 1 rear naked choke. She did get 1 sub. She doesn't have any TKOs, KOs, anything like that. So she is a decision machine in the UFC, and I see her winning 30-27. With that said, we go Loma Lukebunmi. Next on the card, we have Kong Zhu against Rodrigo Vera. Both guys are 30 years old. Rodrigo is out of Pitbull MMA, and he's got an excellent record of 21-1-1. There's not a lot of film study on these two, so take the pick for what it's worth, but I am going to go with Rodrigo Vera for the win. The third prelim on the card is Angela Overkill Hill against the girl coming over from One Championship. Now, both gals are getting up there in age. Angie is 41 years old. Zhang is 38 years old. Zhang's got 2 inches in height on Angie. Angie's 5'3", whereas Zhang's 5'5". They both have a 64-inch reach. So, similar reach. I just think, you know, Hill's a UFC vet. Her opponent never been in the UFC, and normally I would take the UFC vet, but Zhang is a world champion coming from One. She's got a really good chin, and she'll stand and bang. And just with both fighters getting up there and Hill being in her 40s, you know, I think I don't think, she is past her prime for sure. And I will say, if this fight was 5 years ago, I'm definitely taking Overkill for the win. But today, I'm going to bet against Overkill and go with the fighter from One Championship in Zhang. So, and I believe that will be a decision. Next on the card, we've got a last-minute replacement in Luis Gurulu against Ray Saruyu. And Ray is 10-1, and you know, the last card I said I didn't think that at that point in time, Luis Guerrero did not have a win in the UFC. He was 0-2 or 0-3. I think he was 0-2, and I said I don't even think he's UFC quality, and I take that statement back after I have a newfound respect for him. I mean, he literally just fought on the last card and turns right around and hops on a plane and goes to China to take on his toughest test in the UFC. And I will be absolutely amazed if he can pull off this W against Ray Cerullo. Now, Ray is coming up from flyweight to bantamweight, but a lot of times what you'll see is, you see a lot of these guys that go from lightweight to welterweight. They go from 55 to 70, and you see, or 45 to 55, like Max. You see a better fighter because they're not cutting as much weight. So you see you get more of Max because you get a smaller, sucked out, drawn out fighter when they're fighting at that lower weight class. I think we'll see a better Ray Cerullo at 135 than 125. So I think, like I said, I've got a newfound respect for Guerrero, but I don't think he's going to get it done. You've got to be still feeling some effects. He had a tough fight, and it was a 3-round banger, and he's got to still feeling some effects from that. Who knows if he's got any jet lag, but I think Ray gets it done, probably 30-27. So next on the card is Cody Haddon versus, we call him at the gym AQ, but it's Arichi Long, the Mongolian murderer. He's been training with us. He did his whole camp here at Red Hawk. So Cody is 8-1. Everybody and their mother is taking Cody Haddon here. He's 8-1. AQ is 26-12. AQ's UFC record, Arichi Long's UFC record, is 4-4-1. Cody Haddon's 1-0 was 1-0 in the Dana White Contender Series, and then 7-1 in Hex and Eternal. This is actually his UFC debut, and the kid is 27 years old. They say you're in your prime in the UFC, in the fight world, combat world, at age 32, and that's what Arichi Long is. They're both 5'7". They both have a 69-inch reach. Cody Haddon is ranked 67th, and AQ is ranked 30. Cody Haddon has not fought in 19 months. He fights out of, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right, Luistro Combat Academy, and Arichi Long is fighting out of the Red Hawk Academy. Now, their opponents' records, Cody Haddon's opponents' records are 65, 39, and 1. And AQ's opponents' records are 257 and 150. So, I know everybody thinks that Cody's going to smoke AQ, finish him. I've heard all kinds of people saying how great Cody Haddon is. Guys, I guarantee you this fight's going to be a lot closer than people think it's going to be. Even if, let me tell you this, AQ's been sparring and training with Sean O'Malley, with the champ. He's also been training with a lot of other killers. Dre's over there. Jakar Close is over there with Arichi. Like, he's getting great coaching. He's getting great looks in the gym. Great rounds. I just think he's going to shock everybody. I think he shocks the world, and I think he beats Cody Haddon. And like I said, even if he doesn't, if he loses, I could see it being a split decision and them giving it to Haddon. But I think Arichi Long gets it done, 29-28. Let's go AQ. I think I'm literally the only person on the internet taking Arichi Long here. Next on the card, we've got Meng Deng against Jose Enrique. I don't have much to say about this. I'm not sure if we'll see either of these guys in the UFC for long. Ming Dang's 32. Jose Enrique is a youngster at 24. Ming Dang's 6'2". Jose is 6'3". China against Brazil. Like I said, don't got much to say about this fight. Didn't do a lot of study on it because I don't think there's going to be longevity in the UFC here. Don't take a lot of credibility in my pick because I didn't do a lot of study. But I'm going to go Jose Enrique. I think he can get it done. I think maybe even get the sub. Jose Enrique. Okay. Next on the card, we have Luis Felipe Diaz against Yisak Lee. Diaz is 16-5, and Yisak Lee is 8-1. Yisak Lee is 25 years old, and Diaz is 31. Yisak Lee is 6 foot with a 74-inch reach, as well as Diaz has a 74-inch reach, but he is 2 inches shorter at 5'10". Diaz fights out of Parana Vale Tudo in Brazil, and Yisak Lee fights out of KTT, Korean Top Team in South Korea. Age-wise, they say Diaz is in his prime right now. He did get a sub in the Dana White Contender Series. We're really yet to see any absolute world beaters to come out of Korea or South Korea, for that matter. And again, it didn't put a lot of time into this one. We'll see if these guys, again, another one that we'll see if there's any longevity in UFC careers here. I'm going to say no with both of them. With that said, I will go Luis Felipe Diaz for the win. Okay, next on the card, we've got Alex Perez against Sumidarji. Alex Perez's record is 26-10. Sumidarji is 19-7. Alex is 34 years old. Sumidarji's 30. Both weighed in 125 last fight. No, you know what? I think Alex actually missed weight, didn't he? I might have that stat wrong. Alex is ranked number 8, and Sumidarji is 21. They both won their last fight. In their last 5, Alex is 2 wins, 3 losses, and it's vice versa with Sumidarji. He's 3 wins, 2 losses. Their strength of schedule is number 40 for Alex and as a 19 for Sumidarji, which means Sumidarji's been fighting much tougher fighters. Sumidarji is from China, but fighting out of California under Uriah Faber. And Alex is fighting out of California. He's in Lemoore, California. I can't remember the name of the gym. Perez has he has to get this to the ground, or he'll get in the pocket and try to throw those big hooks that he throws. But he does have a huge reach deficit, and I know a lot of people are picking Alex Perez. I think he's the favorite. And yeah, he is the favorite here. I'm going to go upset. I'm going to go underdog. I'm taking Sumidarji. I think he's got, like an 8-inch reach. I think he'll be able to use his reach. If Alex gets to the ground, he will pop up quick. And he is very good with using his length and his reach when striking. So I'm going Sumidarji for the upset. Okay, next on the card, we've got Jake Matthews versus Carlston Harris. Jake Matthews has a record of 22-6. Carlston Harris has a record of 19-7. Jake is 31 years old, and Carlston is 38 years old. Carlston's 6 foot, Jake's 5'11". They both weighed in at 170, and Jake is ranked number 37 as to Carlston's 48. They both lost their last fights. Carlston fights out of Guyana, and Jake fights out of Australia. Strength of schedule is a 24 for Jake Matthews and a 35 for Carlston. which means the lower the number, the harder the fighter. So that means Jake has had a harder strength of schedule. Last 5, Jake is 3-2, and it's vice versa for Carlson. He's 2 wins, 3 losses. Jake sometimes looks like a world beater, honestly, to me. He looks like he could, beat anybody in the world at certain fights, but you kind of see this with Jake Matthews. Depending on what day it is what Jake Matthews are we going to get. But I still think Jake will get it done, and I could see him finishing Carlston. Carlston's getting a bit long in the tooth, 38, going on 39 years old soon, and I think he's well past his prime, and I think we see a good Jake Matthews, and I think Jake gets it done for the W. Okay, I think we got 3 left. Next, we've got Kai Asakura against Cameron Smotherman. If you guys remember the last time Cameron Smotherman was supposed to fight, he didn't get to fight because he's the one that face planted on the scale and passed out. Cameron Smotherman is 12-6. Kai Asakura is 21-6. Kai is 32 years old. Cameron's 28 years old. Kai is 5'8", and Cameron is 5'9". Kai is coming up a weight class to bantamweight. He is ranked 45, as to Cameron is 39. They both lost their last fights. Kai's fighting out of Japan, and Cameron's fighting out of the United States. Last 5 again. Kai is 2-3. Swap, just the opposite for Cameron. He's 3 wins, 2 losses. And I think Kai moving up to 135 in Asia and getting a new start in the UFC, and they're going to start building his career as a bantamweight in the UFC, and I think he gets it done, and possibly in emphatic fashion. We're taking Kai Asakura. Next, we've got Sergey Pavlovich against Taliesin Teixeira. Sergey is 20-3, great record against another great record, 9-1. Obviously, Sergey's got a lot more experience. He is 34 years old. And Taliesin's just a youngster at 26. Sergey weighed 255 to Taliesin's 259. Sergey is ranked number 3, and Taliesin's just outside the top 15 at number 18. They both won their last fight. And in their last 5 fights, Sergey is 3-2, and Taliesin is 4-1. Both basically strikers, I think. We saw Taliesin grapple his last fight. They can both grapple. I think Taliesin might even try to get it to the ground because I think he's going to have problems with Sergey on the feet. Sergey's fighting out of Russia. Taliesin is Brazilian, but he's fighting out of Teixeira MMA. That's Glover Teixeira, not Taliesin Teixeira MMA. He's been training with Shama, and his camp was done in Connecticut. So, does training with Shama improve Taliesin that much to get the victory? I'm going to say he has improved, but not enough to beat Sergey Pavlovich. We're going Sergey to get it done. Okay. I was incorrect earlier when I said there was 3 left. There was 4 because there's 2 left now. We've got the co-main event. Mingyang Zhang versus Alonzo Menefield. Both came in at 206. Yang is ranked 20th. Alonzo is 25. They both lost their last fight. If you remember, Johnny Walker basically finished Yang with those calf kicks. He's heavy, that heavy boxing stance on his lead leg, and Johnny just beat that lead leg up with those heavy calf kicks. Yang is predominantly a striker, and I think if Alonzo has any chance at all of winning this fight, I mean, these big heavy guys, if they catch you clean, they can knock you out with one punch. But I think he might try to grapple here. Alonzo is fighting out of the United States, and Zhang is from China. I think strength of schedule is 19 He's a 19. Zhang is a 19, and Minifield is a 37, which is almost double, which means Zhang is fighting much tougher opponents. I think they're setting him up for a home field comeback here, KO. Zhang does have crisp striking, and like I said, Alonzo really has to grapple or land that big one to get the W, and I don't see him out striking Mingyang Zhang. Co-main event, we're going Zhang. So for the main event, I think everybody and their mother's going the same way, unless you're Brazilian. We've got Song Yadong at 22-9-1 against Deivison Figueredo, who's 25-6-1. Song is 28 years old. I put a star there because that's one aspect that really stands out to me. It's 10 years age difference, 28 to 38. 38, you're past your prime in the UFC. Davison's been up to bantamweight for a while now, but he's the ex two-time 125 champion. They both lost their last fight. Song actually lost to Sean, UFC 324. We all knew that was going to happen. Song has heavy hands, and he's a good grappler. I just think that Figgy was a great 125er, but he's not a great 135er. Strength of schedule is by far Song Yadong. He's in the bantamweight division. He's literally been fighting the best in the world. Cody, Sean, Peter Yan. He's been fighting the upper echelons. And
Brad?
Yeah.
Hi, Brad. I'm Belinda.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Well, it's my mom, Candy.
Hello.
Hi, Brad.
All right. Can you give me 1 minute here?
Yep.
Thank you.
No worries.
So with that being said, I think late round 2 or round 3, I think Song will get the finish. I can see him knocking him out, finish him, KO, TKO. But I think if he can take a beating for 5 rounds, I think it'll be 50-45 Song Yadong. So if you guys don't know, the card starts at 4 a.m. tomorrow Eastern time. So if you're on the West Coast, it's 1 or 2. So, and if you're going to bet responsibly. Don't be betting your rent. Just make it fun. $5-10, something like that. We usually do like $10 or $20 parlays, 5 fighters, 13, 15 to 1. Just makes it more interesting. So like and subscribe, hit that notification bell. UFC Macau, let's go.